This may look alright on display, but you could also turn it into this. About 2 years ago now, I made a video on LEGO Star Wars display stands, which will be linked below. There are some tutorials in there already, but in that video I showed off 2 stands which I said I would focus on if I ever made a sequel video, and now here we are 2 years later and you'll finally get the tutorials for those stands. As I said in the last video, these are just meant to be inspirations, so you can make ones that will look a lot prettier, or you can make these ones look a lot prettier if you want. It is all up to you. In this video we'll be taking a look for my design of stand 4, as well as stand 5, and a pretty basic one which I'll call stand 7. And don't worry, we will get back to stand 6. And we'll start off with stand 7 because it's just the easiest one. Now Star Destroyers, they look fine on their own. They actually look quite good just sitting there, but they can look a lot better with pretty much just some bricks under them. For my current arrangement, I just use this black plate with some trans black elements on there, and they work really well for me. I prefer them to just the plain old black color, but the black color does work too to give it that hovering effect. I just attach it to the bottom of the Star Destroyer and it does the job, and all it does is it lets it float a little bit, which really helps with it on display. I use this on both my Star Destroyers, but just to show you what the plain black bricks look like, I've used it on the First Order Star Destroyer on the right, but it pretty much gives the same effect. You could use something like this to elevate your smaller ships, but for those I would recommend these larger stands. Here is stand 5, and I know we're going in reverse order at this point, but this works well for pretty much all kind of ships. I love it with shuttles, but it works with heaps and gives them a really nice angle despite being quite technical, and it can actually hold quite a bit of weight. I've even tried this on something like the Razor Crest, which is a pretty heavy set, and it does work, but it does put a bit of strain on it, so I wouldn't recommend it. And the other good part is that it can move forward slightly, just like the next stand you'll see, but I wouldn't recommend it in its forward position as it usually doesn't fit with most ships. Getting into the tutorial of how to build it now, just feel free to pause or skip or do whatever you need. It's all instructions for you. Here's the essential parts for what you need for the base build of this, and I'll just play some music in the background and chime in if there's anything needing explaining. Mistake here, and those grey pins should actually be one stud down. As you can see here, this is what it should look like in the correct place with those grey pins one hole down, and from the top it should just look like this. But of course it is missing something, and you will just need a quick little assembly just like this to put on top so that you can actually put your ships on there. But right now the stand will be looking a little bare, and this is where you will come in with your details. I've used these pieces on screen here, but you can use whatever you want. And here's what it looks like just all plated up. It's really easy to add the plates onto the front and onto the base. You just work out whatever you like and it will look so much better. To the next stand now, stand 4. I know it's still reverse order. This one is a lot simpler in design to the other one, and I personally prefer it, but that's of course up to personal preference. Here's the essential pieces you'll need for the base of this mock, and again I will let the music play. design for now, but again, you're going to want to make it look better, so here are the pieces I used to decorate it. There are a few parts in here that are a bit hard to see in the images, but I used one of these bow pieces as well as two of these ones, and then one of these 1x4 angled bricks, not plates. And here's what it looks like all decorated. Obviously you can do it more than this or less than this, it's completely up to you, but I'm personally happy with how my one looks and it displays my ships really nicely. Worth noting that the hold for this ship and the stand design in general is on a 1x3 rather than an even number, but the base of this design does go into 6 wide. And just like the last stand, it flops back and forth if you want it to, but it won't work with a lot of ships. I just wanted to show off some specific stands I have for sets that I won't go into tutorials of. This is my one for the 2019 Slave 1. It simply just attaches to the handle on the back, and I love how this looks. I think it needed to be included in this set because having it stand up is just so good looking. I do also have one for my Millennium Falcon, which turns it from this into this. This should work with the 2019 one and the Dark Falcon, but this is personally built for the 2015 one. This design just hooks into a very specific part of the underside and holds it up. I love how this one works. However, it is a bit of a fragile build, but it doesn't put that much strain on it if you put it in the right position. And finally, stand 6. I built this one a while back and I have the instructions available on the Brickbuilder Discord server, which I will link below. I know, shameless plug, but they have been there for a while. This one is a pretty simple stand but works very well. And there you have it, some stands you can use for your very own LEGO Star Wars sets. If you haven't already, go check out that original video, and if you have, I mean, maybe it was 2 years ago, so you could check it out again if you need some more inspiration. Hopefully this has inspired you to build your own, or if you just want these ones, hopefully you can go out and build them. However, yeah, that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. That will be all, folks. Goodbye.